Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Impossible, where we empower others to face the impossible, inspire them to be impossible, and motivate them to do the impossible. I am your habitual co-host, but today, your only host, Austin, and I want to continue with the series of adaptation. So today, I wanted to dive into more of the side and the steps of planning for action and ultimately taking action. So in previous episode we had discussed, or at least I had described what I had found to be most helpful for me in dealing with how I set up for the future, in that you have the immediate, the near, and the far. And what I wanted to do today was go much deeper with that and kind of show you how I manage that. Now, obviously, this is general notes for everybody. I hope that you can take something positive from this, and I mean that's the point of all of this is that you can find to take something here or there away. You can take a lot from what we offer, and obviously we hope for the latter, but anything that we can do to help you is certainly our goal here. So today, again, so looking at how I divvy those up, how much weight, how much value, and ultimately how much freedom can we give ourselves in really planning something incredible for ourselves, but ultimately for those who are immediately around us and for the community as well, because you have to have your house in order to then go and help others. That's something that you hear from a lot of different influencers, and it's certainly something that I attest to as well, because it's helped me. So we have immediate, near, and far. Keeping it simple. So, because that's something that's going to be extremely beneficial for your planning of set 3, is keeping it simple, keep it precise, keep it focused, but ultimately have some fun with it. Not everything that you jot down on a piece of paper or type into your electronic device, I certainly gravitate towards the old-fashioned way of pen and paper. It's much more soothing for me. Much more of a flow comes from it creatively, I feel. Something that I learned from topics in poetry in university, and let me tell you, that was actually a splendid time. I really, really, really enjoyed that class. The teacher was wonderful, strict, but it was necessary, and ultimately took a lot from that. So, anyways, pen and paper, laptop, iPad, phone, doesn't matter. So, again, let's talk about, well, we'll start off with the weight of each individual timeline and the time period. So the immediate are things that you don't necessarily need to be stringent with, but ultimately are smaller things that you're going to be able to adjust with ease to get the ball rolling. As one domino falls, then more will continue after that, but you got to get that first one to go down. So with the immediate, I found myself finding a lot of immediate actions that I felt were necessary to take for a beneficial path to be found, but more of a way a way for me to be kind to myself at the beginning as well, because there are a lot of things that you may take way too seriously about yourself, and you are your own worst critic, and that is another point that I can attest to as well. So when I looked at the immediate goals, I wanted to find things that were, again, quickly remedied, yet could still carry some gravitas for the future. I found that being precise and being honest with yourself, something we talked previously as well, is that you have to be brutally honest, came to almost this battleground I found myself in, with shades and perspectives of my former self and my current self, and what perspectives I wanted to attempt to gain for my future self. And a lot of things will come to light, a lot of things that you may not be comfortable with admitting, a lot of things that you're not going to be comfortable with putting down on a piece of paper or your electronic device. And so I started off with, and this is something that Dr. Jordan B. Peterson would be extremely proud of, is cleaning my room. So working a lot, being on the road for 20 some days out of the month, each month, I do happen to live out of a suitcase. It's part of the job, but were there a few things that I could take just in my immediate surroundings, clean your room, that would help, things that I could organize that then would reciprocate the organization within my daily life, but also my mental state. And this was something that I had thought to have been trivial in previous versions of Austin. Yet when I started to make my own bed, I would always put the sheets back not how I found them, but how they could be, but not how they should be. Again, little things, but be precise with them. So I would tuck in the sheets, I would fluff the pillows, I'd make it nice and neat and orderly, so that when the next evening came and I found myself needing of some well-earned shut-eye, that the bed that I was going to was ordered. It looked comfortable. It wasn't in shambles. I had prepared for that next evening something small, something little. I occasionally have a dirty dish laying out or something. I would make sure that was taken care of. Maybe I had some trash on the table, some papers, or a straw wrapper. I don't know, just little things like that. I would make sure that I was organized and I was orderly, and I would take care and dispose of cluttered items that were not only cluttered in a physical sense, but also cluttered in a mental sense. Again, little things, but be precise. And so those are things in the immediate environment physically that I felt would then reciprocate to the mental side. And then mentally, immediate actions that I felt like I needed to take were being positive with myself, being positive to others in my immediate surroundings, or just in general, with the public. We find ourselves busy on the day-to-day. We all are. And there are hellos that we don't say. There are positive facial expressions that we don't implement in some of the daily engagements that we partake in with the public. And again, little things like that we could be more precise with, more focused on. And that's something that I had come to find to be extremely fruitful for not only getting to experience, really positive feedback from those in the public with that. Now, I work in a lot of, most major metropolises in the Midwest and the Rockies. So not everybody that you stroll upon is having a great day. But for me, I take a lot of happiness and in a certain way satisfaction with smiling at somebody and seeing them smile back. Whomever can reciprocate with that positivity, it really, 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 really helps me. And I hope that it helps them as well. We all need to be a little more positive these days. And a few more hellos. When I'm walking down, I park my vehicle, walk down the street to a cafe, like Vosson's Bakery, there on 2nd and Salt Lake City, downtown. Enjoy, parking there. They have some construction going on there right now, so it's a bit of a nightmare to get there. But once you're there, park the car, get out, maybe there's somebody's walking down the sidewalk, and just say hello with a smile. It's fantastic. Sometimes they reciprocate, sometimes they don't, but again, you can't force them. I wish they would, of course, but that's just me. And then when you get into the coffee shop, maybe there's somebody standing in line there, and it is 0700, 7 in the morning, so not everybody that strolls into there may be a ray of sunshine, as the sunshine is raying upon us. We'll just go with that. So, but still, a hello. You don't have to be forceful with it. I try to be, but that's just me. But, a hello, especially when you make eye contact, because whenever one person enters a room, the individuals that are within that room look. A natural reaction. All of us have, unless you're super busy with something. But again, situational awareness is crucial. And so they're going to look. They're going to make eye contact with you. Make eye contact with them. Say hello. How are you doing? Good morning. Absolutely love it. And then something that you can be precise within that scenario is to make sure your good morning or your hello is with a little bit of energy, a little bit of enthusiasm. Like, I'm not committing you against your will to say hello to people. It should be with some meaning, with some, not compassion, but enthusiasm and goodwill. You just say good morning. Maybe it'll make their morning. You never know. That's what I look forward to. That is what I look forward to. And then you get up to the counter and meet the server, and they come up and they say, "Well, what can I get you?" And you say, "Good morning." I always start with that. I love that. I absolutely love that. I look forward to that in the morning, honestly. Now I do. At first, when I was trying this, again, with your immediate goals, when I first tried this out, I noticed myself almost nervous. It's shocking, but I was nervous to say good morning or hello. I would just ring off my order, pay, make it not a solemn transaction, but it was, people need a little jolt of energy, and I used to blame that upon, oh, I just need to get in there and get my coffee, get my caffeine first. No, it's right here. It's right here. The flame in the heart. That's what inspires me to get in there and say good morning. Start off with that. It's fantastic. So those are just a few examples of how I've attached immediate goals that I can control with ease, with precision, with focus, with not being critical of your performances. You can see it as, or interpret that as, being aware of how you are perceived in a manner that you wish to be perceived, and do your best with that. I really enjoy that. I find a lot of, ultimately, a lot of fun in that. It's a really good time, a really wonderful time. Because if I can get that one smile reciprocated, if I can get that one cheerful good morning back, it just makes my day. Makes my day, and I've only been awake for 2 hours, so the other 12 to 14, just it's all bonus. It's all extra points. Love it. So those are some things that are immediate, for me within my hotel room. But, with you and your place of residence, to just find something to tidy up. There's always going to be something that you can find. And then, so those are immediate goals and actions that you can partake in, that you can attack with ferocity, but also nothing here needs to be taken with a pound of salt. Like, everything takes time. So then we can move into the near. These are goals that you want to challenge yourself within a certain shorter time period. Near-term goals, short-term goals is probably a key phrase that you would hear within this manner, is short-term goals. So what are some short-term goals within the next month, the next 2 months, the next 3 months, next 6 months? The duration is, of course, up to you. You determine that, pen to paper or your electronic device, to give yourself these different periods of time to really make a difference within your life, something that can help prepare you for the long-term goals. So for me, short-term goals have been, obviously, one of them was running a marathon. This was something that I was not scared of making. I did not see it as some impossible challenge, because it's not. It's very much doable. A lot of people run marathons, and why can't I? Why shouldn't I? Oh, wait. I shall. And so that short-term goal turned into a little bit of an extended short-term goal, but hey. And so that was something that I could put some detail into, because that's something that you can make an incredible action plan with. Short-term goals need to have some detail to them. There's a bit more writing than with your immediate goals, because with your immediate goals is, oh, I would like to make my bed. One sentence. With your short-term goals, I'm giving myself 11 months. Well, unfortunately, it turned into 9 months. But I have 9 months to run a marathon. Some details you need to fill in with that, of course. So that's something that you certainly put a lot more thought into, and that's required. But again, take that process with a grain of salt, because this is an opportunity for you to really dive into some aspects within your life that you find are lacking in some impossible feats for you to conquer, and that are attainable within a shorter time period, and that you can see delivering a lot of satisfaction from, a lot of accomplishment from. And at least for me, something that will change your life forever. Something beautiful. Never thought I would attempt this. Never thought that I was capable of going after such a profound goal, but that's what we do here at Impossible Performance. We face the impossible, and you have to be impossible in order to do that impossible. And it's a good time. So that's an example for me for a short-term goal. Another one actually that I just said was, and this may be the official announcement, I don't know yet, but for our August powerlifting meet at Monsters Bent Barbell in Parkersburg, West Virginia, I will be competing in the powerlifting meet. So will our fearless leader, Matt Hill. He will be competing in that as well, and we're really excited for that. Again, another short-term goal. We're now about a month out, a month and a half, month. We're getting there. It's good times, the best of times. And so, again, this is something that you're able to be fairly detailed with. This is something that you do have to make a plan of action, something that is executable, something that is somewhat attainable, but can still be in the realm of something truly impressive, something that you can impress yourself with, and ultimately will leave others in some awe of saying, "Wow, I didn't know that person could do that. I didn't know Matt can squat over 400 pounds. I mean, that's just it's an incredible feat. And he's going to continue to go up as well. Fun fact. So good times, the best of times. So your short-term goals are goals that need to be detail-oriented, goals that will send you into the fire, put you in the hot seat. Pick a few of them, write them down, or type them in, and pick one, maybe two. You don't need to overload yourself. We're all busy again, and that's okay. That's okay. But get something that's gonna challenge you on some days. On the days that are a bit more rough, that's where these short-term goals really come in and shine the brightest. Are those that carry you through the darker days. And that's what's so beautiful about them, really. They can be life-changing, and things that happen, within a year. And then we can move on to the long-term goals that do require detail orientation, but I would say not as much as your short-term goals. Because your short-term goals are something that, again, with a shorter time period, you really have to have an executable plan of action, like I said before. But with your long-term goals, this is something that is mostly focused upon the habits and the discipline that is procured from your immediate daily habits that are altered, with the implementation of your short-term goals that have shown you that you're capable of incredible things, because you are. You are. You are able to do the impossible. And you will not tell yourself anything else. So go do it. And that's the beauty that comes from short-term goals. You start changing habits, you realize the potential that you have, and then you apply that over a long-term basis, and you get to see what incredible and impossible individual that you can become. So for me, a long-term goal of mine was, one, I wanted to lose some weight, but it was more, leaning out, but it was something that was most certainly on the back burner. The determination, the velocity I found myself charging ahead with all of my training. This was something that was, again, not priority. It was a listing that I had on my short-term goals, but it got moved down in the priority list, and what I was able to do was adapt. I was able to adapt it to a long-term goal that ultimately meant I have some work to do, but with it not being a priority, I can make it something gradual over time where I'm not going to bog myself down. I'm not going to require the absolute daily, again, the velocity that of which you find yourself going through in your executable plans for short-term goal. I didn't want that intensity to be given towards that, and which is an approach very different from what I had in the past. Because in the past I had thought that leaning out, losing some fat was something that was impossible and carried a lot of negativity with it. Something that sprouted up from within myself. Long ago, what seems to be long ago, but back when I was in high school, I struggled a lot with body positivity, I guess you could call it. And I wasn't any kind of victim of bullying, but it was certainly made known within a few individuals that I was not the leanest of students, and I allowed such a negative connotation be there within the realm of how I looked at myself in the mirror. And I struggle with that to this day. I really struggle finding a whole lot of positives whilst staring at my body in the mirror. So, but that's something that I very much intend on changing, and have done some, I've had a lot of progress in that so far over this past, I would say, year and a half, but mostly in the past 5 months have been honestly life-changing. I have to say, it was difficult at first, because as all of you know, when there are those deeply hidden I'll say reasons, but honestly, they're mostly just excuses for a certain negative connotation that you hold for a certain aspect of your life. And in my case was the figure that I held physically. And you know that when you first face it, that monster is grandiose and it is ugly. And it's ready to fight back. And from your immediate goals that allow you to understand that daily habits are vital, to the potential that you realize from your short-term goals of how incredible you are, then allows you to truly see that monster is a mere pebble. And you can walk right by it, I promise you. Walk right by it. It's belittled you for far too long. And I decided to belittle it. And it's worked. It's worked out very well. And through through the honest focus of marathon training and lifting weights in general, but then especially with the powerlifting meet, I have found the leaning down activity to basically propel itself. And it's nice when some things can kind of fall into place when you hope for them to, but not expect them to. That's been incredible for me. I've really enjoyed what has come out from a situation of where you start in such a sludgy and just heavy sense of trying to move forward. And ultimately, I have found it freeing of not being bogged down. Because again, that beast, that malevolent being that rests within you, has no power at all. The only power that it is able to obtain is the power that you give it, that you allow it to have and to exercise upon you. Don't. Show it how incredible you are, and what impossible individual you will become. So that is how I've been able to, those are examples, but ultimately that's how I've been able to break down how to really attack setting goals. And I found it to come with a lot of success. There have been a lot of ups and downs, which it's going to happen. You already know this. And that's just a part of the path. You're gonna step on something sharp. You're gonna step on something really uncomfortable. You may fall to a knee. You may fall to both knees. But you must keep moving forward. And unless you have immediate daily habits that are easy to form, with precision, with focus, short-term goals that are executable plans, detailed, but executable, to allow you to realize what potential you do have. Really what allows you to build up momentum into the long-term goals, that of which give you the proof in the pudding of what an incredible individual you are. Because it's within you. It is. You just have to be willing to find it. So I want to say thank you for listening. This is yet another kind of a second or third part of the series. We're trying to get everything organized with it, but we just want to get this message out to you because it's, for us, it means a lot to us to try to get more, as we explained previously, to get more detailed oriented, but more focused upon how we can help you and what different facets that we can help you with. So it's beautiful. It can be such an impeccable experience for you to have, to see where you can go, see how far you can go, push the limits, and ultimately you will do the impossible. So again, thank you for listening. And also, don't know if you noticed, but the background is a slightly different tone. So we have updated the podcast studio. You'll get a full picture once we have guests on, and we're going to throw in a couple teasers as well as, leading up to the release of this episode. But put some work into the podcast studio, and the work has only begun. So we have more little goodies and surprises coming up, but this is the start. Was painting the wall with the color, the tone. The name for it is aged pine, and for one, pine trees hold a very special place in my heart. The property of which I grew up on, the western border of our property was lined with white pines and another type of pine tree, but both pines. And just the color of the needles it's just, again, holds a very special place in me. And so that's the color that we have here, because it ultimately matches up to Impossible Performance as well. So worked out great. It's a beautiful color, and we're excited for you all to see when we have guests on here, and in the near future and the far future. So only the beginning. The work continues. So it's wonderful. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. So a lot of exciting guests coming up, like I said, here in the near future. So definitely keep in touch. Like and subscribe this on YouTube. Like and give us a follow on the podcast platform that you're listening on. Comment. We read them all. We want to hear from you all. Hear some feedback, whether it be positive or negative. We're striving to do our best for you, so we need to hear from you so that we can continue to optimize this show, because we would like it to run on for as long as it can. And a lot of exciting things subscription wise as well are coming, so definitely give us hit the sub button on YouTube. And yeah, so thank you for listening today. And as always, be impossible.